Hello, everyone, and welcome to my fun, funky little rant for Rantathon. And as you can see from the title card, it's about how messed up the lore of Ben 10 is. And boy, is there a lot of it. So let's get into it. Quick disclaimer, yeah, there's a lot here, so don't worry about it. I actually know for a fact at the time of presenting this that I missed a good few, but I have a time limit, and so I can't get everything. But I got the main points in, I believe, or at least the fun points that I wanted to talk about, and that's all that matters. So, quick disclaimer, while it's a more lighthearted presentation, there's going to be joking and lighthearted discussions of war crimes, child endangerment, fantasy racism, non permanent cartoon dismemberment, and also swearing because I like to swear for emphasis sometimes. So please value your mental health first and stop watching if any of this sounds like something that you are not in a good place to deal with. Okay, so now let's get into this. First off, Grandpa Max is a war criminal and also a terrible person. And so let's get into why. Yes, by definition, he is literally a war criminal, conscripting or enlisting children under the age of 15 years into the National Armed Forces or using them to participate actively in hostilities. He's literally part of a military organization, and he basically is the one who got Ben to start doing the hero thing, literally gave him a hero complex at 10 years old. Like, come on, dude. He also had knowledge of the Omnitrix, of Vilgax, of many other things from the very moment that Ben got the Omnitrix, and he decided to keep it secret and do nothing to help protect this 10-year-old child from the very beginning, other than going like, he who, why don't you become a hero? I'm totally not using you for my own military endeavors against this other war criminal who has probably just done so many bad things at this point. Like Vilgax is literally hundreds of years old, has probably like destroyed planets or something. He's not a good man, and Grandpa Max decided, yeah, let's have a 10-year-old fight him. So, here's the hero's complex in action. This is when Ben is 16, so technically not a war crime, but still kind of a shitty thing to do. He was just trying to enjoy a normal life at this point. He took the Omnitrix off so he could like go play soccer, enjoy high school. And instead, Grandpa Max decides, yo, I'll pretend to be dead and or in danger and just do some shady shit while Ben does all the actual military thing and get the plumbers back together, because that's a responsible adult thing to do. And the only person who has sense in this is Gwen Tennyson, my beloved. She is Ben's cousin, and the only person who said, yo, this is kind of messed up. You have a choice in the matter. Of course, he has a hero complex, so he still decided to do it anyways. And also, Azimuth isn't safe from this either, you fucking frog. I know he doesn't consider it to be a weapon. I know he made it for many reasons, one of which including, like, bringing people of different species together and help understanding, and also as like a Noah's Ark of stuff, and also to help get his ex girlfriend back. But let's not get into that. Still, this is not something you should entrust to a child, especially when the first time you meet this child was on the track to blowing up the universe accidentally. Like, I don't know why you decided this, Asmith. He's 10. And also, another point of Grandpa Max just being awful and horrible, he literally sent an 11-year-old to hell. Technically, it's just a pocket dimension that serves as a prison for the universe's most dangerous criminals. However, why would you still send an 11-year-old there? That is an 11-year-old child. I know he is in the form of a monster right now, but that's still an 11-year-old orphaned child that you decided to send to hell. So, and here's a bonus of Grandpa Max just being a terrible person. He uses fantasy slurs. And, like, granted, pretty much all the plumbers did it because they were at war with this one race of shapeshifters called Lenopans. And you don't learn until a few series later that the term that everyone's been using for them is basically a slur, which is kind of fucked up because at the end of the episode in which these aliens are introduced, they are literally part of Grandpa Max's family. He still calls them by the slur. What the fuck, Grandpa Max? And point two, Ben has ADHD. This is kind of a palate cleanser. It's not fucked up lore, just please confirm it already. Here is a whole list that I compiled earlier of all the points where Ben exhibited symptoms of ADHD. As you can see, it's a lot. Just a whole lot. Please. It's not fucked up lore. I just think that the people should know. Point 3. Let's get to the cartoon dismemberment, baby. So, yes, this is an actual episode that exists. At some point, Ben loses his hand and is sent to hell the episode. And also, like, they just decided to have an episode where Ben gets his hand cut off and then he has to live in hell for a brief moment until he gets his hand back. Also, the hand is independently sentient. Don't worry about that. It's fine. This just happens. Point 3. Look at all these Bens. This is a lot of Bens. These are all Ben. Different timeline versions of Ben. Yeah, it's a lot. We have Rich Boy Ben. We have Evil Ben 1. We have Evil Ben 2. We have Evil Ben 3. We have Evil Ben 4. There's a lot of Evil Bens. We also have like 2 different live action Bens, and I was going to include them at first, but their storylines did somehow become canon in the actual cartoon universe, so they are technically official canon alternate universe Bens. And there's also like 2 different versions of older Ben, and one of them is good, and the other one is some weird dude with divorce energy, so we don't talk about them. Yes, there's Deadbeat Dad Ben. So, let's talk about Eon. Who's that weird purple evil Ben that you saw earlier? Yeah, he's originally from live action, but then for some reason the cartoon decided to make him canon for reals. He's gone through like 3 different redesigns, and like the first redesign, they decided to try and make him cool. That's the one with him having the edgy power hands. And then they just decided to make him some weird sad old man, which is obviously the better choice design wise. So his original story was that he was trying to revive his dead species using the Omnitrix and forcing Ben to turn into him, like literally turn into a younger version of himself. But now he's retconned to just be some weird old geezer evil Ben. And frankly, I'm thankful they did that because that's just too much, even for Ben 10. Point 6. And this is my final point, and it's a very fun point. Ben had a hand in the creation of the universe, like twice. This is just how it goes. Yeah, so this is the Anilarg, technically called the Anilarg is Genesis, or I can't pronounce it. I don't think you can pronounce it. What doesn't matter because by the time it's activated, you're erased before you can finish it, so it's just the Anilarg. This is an important tool that we will use later. So, the first time, universe creation the first, aka that time the universe was destroyed by a critical lack of brain cells because for some reason they decided to take that super weapon and just play hot potato with it. They just tossed it around until it fell on the ground and activated and destroyed the whole universe. So then Ben, another idiot, affectionate, had to save it by transforming into his alien, which has the power to just remake reality at will as long as you get the other 2 people there to agree with you. So, he had to just sit there and argue with some schmucks while the universe was destroyed. But don't worry about it. He got them to agree, and now the universe is back in order. But everything's fine, except it's not because there's some fridge horror, like how Ben was trying to save everything he could, so he wasn't making conscious choices about what goes and what stays, which means some things did in fact go forever. And then there's also the phrase, like, he was the only survivor and he recreated the universe and he didn't do it perfectly, so there's lots of fridge horror there. Don't worry about it. So, universe creation the second, or that time we discovered not even the Big Bang can kill this boy. Like, not even that. So, this started because there's so much time travel shenanigans. There's like a whole subplot throughout the entire series of time travel shenanigans. That's where all the other Bens came from. Let's not worry about that because that is too much to say, even in this presentation. Also, they made George Washington a space cop. That was a choice that they made. He's a space cop. And so, also in the past, they had Pest Vilgax, who Ben because he's stupid, decides to fight and use the Omnitrix against. So even though Vilgax doesn't know it's Ben he's fighting, he knows that there's a tool out there that can transform you into other aliens. So that's where he got the interest in the Omnitrix. And so the circle of stupidity is complete. And also, down there at the bottom right, that's the Big Bang, and that is Ben getting caught up in it. So don't worry about that. He's fine. Yeah, he's fine. He just absorbed the entire Big Bang and then just slammed into someone with the power of the universe. So technically, he saved the universe before it was even made, which is absolutely wild. And then they got to see the actual Big Bang, which is this fun little rainbow swirl of, gay rights. The universe is gay. This has been confirmed. And they got to see it. So that's fun. He technically had a hand in the creation of it twice, and also gay rights. So, that's all the fucked up lore that I can tell you today. Thank you for listening to my descent into madness. There's so much more, but you know, watch the series and find it for yourself. Thank you for listening.